Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Greer Industries, improving people's lives for more than a century.
Hey, welcome in. Got you a forecast here. Areas of southeastern areas of the state. Still about a 30% chance of a general thunderstorm today. We did have some areas, some reports of severe level wind gusts or damaging winds. Far southern and eastern areas of West Virginia, expecting general storms today. Where the cold fronts near stationary, setting up shop just southeast of us, areas of Virginia included there, and a marginal risk of some isolated severe weather, mainly for damaging winds there. Areas near and east of the mountains, a 30% chance of a shower and storm, generally little to no rain elsewhere. There is a slight 20% chance of an afternoon general storm in Carlson. Again, it's a 20% chance for us today. Fly severe forecast, it starts at home. Highs in the 80s and 90s here. Atlanta 91, 94 Myrtle Beach, Orlando 94, Charlotte, a risk of some scattered flash flooding with thunderstorms in areas of North Carolina today. We'll keep eyes on that for our friends to the south, to the north, from Panhandle to Panhandle. Likely dry today. Mix of sun and clouds, highs upper 70s to low 80s. Relatively quiet here Friday for you. Eastern Panhandle warming up low to mid 80s. Some 70s in here in some of the higher elevation spots. A chance of a hit or miss thunderstorm for today. So keep your eyes on a radar if you're out and about for that hit or miss potential today. Highs in the 70s across our northern areas. Slight chance to a chance of a shower and thunderstorm. To the south, chance showers and storms in some of our eastern areas. Charleston, likely dry. It's a slight 20% chance of a shower and storm. So dry for the weekend, last days of August. So if that stands, this will be our second wettest August on record. We do warm and heat up, 94 on Tuesday. Next chance of rain, middle of next week, Tuesday night into Wednesday, with some warmer lows and higher highs in here. 94 Tuesday, low near 73. Chance of showers and storms. Timing Tuesday night and Wednesday.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Live from West Virginia's capital city with news from across the state. This is Metro News Midday, presented by Salango Law, with 13 News and Tonight Live anchor Amanda Barron and Metro News' Dave Allen.
It is a Friday edition of Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Stephanie Pauly, Ryan Nicholson, our producers today. Open line West Virginia. Coming up, bottom of the hour, 1-800-765-TALK or text 304-TALK 304. Time for some sports. It's Metro News Midday.
Metro News Midday is presented by Salango Law. SalangoLaw.com. Join in by calling 800-765-8255 or text 304-TALK 304. Let's go live to downtown Charleston. Here's Dave Allen.
It is a Friday afternoon, and according to what I understand, talking to Metro News meteorologist Brian Hughes, it is going to be a sunny but hot weekend in West Virginia. So enjoy it while you can. Metro News Midday. Actually, if you look at the weather next week, by the time 1st of September rolls around on Tuesday, we get into midweek temperature going to be possibly in the mid to even upper 90s. So if you're wanting the fall weather, it's not going to happen for some time. It is Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Open line West Virginia coming up at the bottom of the hour. Nothing but your calls and text at 1-800-765-TALK or text 304-TALK 304. What we do at this time every Friday, we try to get you ready for a busy weekend in sports. And ever so closely, we're getting to where the majority of the sports blitz is going to be football. We're getting there, 60%, 70%, 80%. We can ramp it up a little bit. High school football started across the state of West Virginia last night. So the bulk of games are tonight. We do want to remind you, as Amanda said, for 25 years after you have attended or listened to your local game, you've heard Fred Persinger, Dave Jekyll, and a crew of folks from all over the state of West Virginia on game night. That will return tonight around 9:30 or so. And, of course, the recap show coming up tomorrow morning as well. And here to tell us all about it is Jack Carlson. How you doing, man?
I'm great. How are you, Dave?
It is the most wonderful time of the year. People have heard me say that. And you, sir, if you're watching on Metro News Television, supporting the Herbert Hoover Huskies, because one of our sister stations here in Charleston, 96.1 KWS, the home of Herbert Hoover football, So you got the Husky look going on today.
Yeah, I'm knee deep in all sorts of preparations for the game. It's an interesting matchup, Dave, tonight against Fairmont Senior. Both teams throwing themselves into the fire with this top 4 matchup to start the season. Fairmont Senior is ranked 4th in the preseason Metro News poll. Herbert Hoover is number 3. And, I mean, if you talk to some of the coaches throughout the state, they might even say Hoover is considered the best team within their class this fall because they brought David Robinson over from Capital. He was all-state
Who's on his way to
last year.
Army, right?
Yeah, he's committed to Army, and it's very interesting to see how he does now with Hoover, who has reloaded. They lost a couple of pieces from last year, but they still have Peyton Grigsby at quarterback and a lot of different pieces throughout the system. Joey Fields has that program rolling.
All right, let's go back to last night because that's when the action started around the state of West Virginia, and there we had several games in our different radio stations around the state. Big shout out to my alma mater, the Logan Wildcats, who won the Lions Club Bowl of Logan County by defeating the cross-county rival Man Hillbillies last night. Coach Nick Booth, I think they were 10th in the power index, if I remember correctly. So big win for them to start the season. But there were some other games around the state of West Virginia, and that one that we carried on WCHS here in Charleston. And it was Tom Hunter and Chris Lawrence, Matt Guitar Murphy on the call to that one. It turned out to not be a very competitive game between Nitro and South Charleston. Nitro, a team that has lost a bunch of players from last season.
They certainly have. Of course, they were runner-up, if you remember last season, just a tremendous year. But through a graduation and some transfers, they're a team that's searching for answers. And South Charleston had not won a home game in 3 seasons. They were 2-28 overall over the last 3 seasons. They lined up and put up 67 points last night.
And that was a
running
running clock, too, at the end of the game. I actually got in the vehicle. I was up at the airport last night at the Bill Noe Flight School for the Paint the Capital City Green event here in Charleston with Marshall University in the Big Green. I got in my vehicle and was driving station vehicle and bringing it back to the station after the event, and I turned on the radio, and I was like, wow, this is a blowout.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to tell who was the 2-8 team last year and who was the team that finished runner-up in the state. But that just goes to show you, as we always hope for this time of year, a fresh season brings fresh hopes and fresh opportunities. If you're South Charleston, you have to be very encouraged by this Week 1 result and have high hopes for the remainder of the season.
And it's been a down few years for South Charleston. I mean, it really, really has a program that's steeped in tradition, but the last few years have been very, very difficult for the Black Eagles.
Yeah, and this is the second year with Donnie Mays in his second stint with the program. You just get a sense with him. I talked with him yesterday covering the new helmet reveals because they became the first Kanawha County school with those Riddell Axiom helmets, which are recognized nationally as very high performing in terms of safety. Yeah, Donnie Mays, he's a very confident fellow, but it's quiet confidence. He has a lot of confidence in his team, and yeah, the Black Eagles are a team to watch this year.
What were some of the other things that you were taking a look at last night?
So Cameron Clay Battelle was our featured game on Metro News Television last night, a 42-0 result in that game. A few other games as well going on, but yeah, the bulk of the games, Dave, are tonight. We're going to have all sorts of games. A couple of games actually on Saturday as well to monitor, of course. Dave Jecklin and Fred Persinger will keep you up to date. And I coming from Iowa, this is my background here. So I went to Iowa for school for the last 4 years. Wasn't really anything like what we have on our Metro News website with all the scores up to the date. Yeah. It's really, really great what we have going on here. And if you're a high school football fan, we got it good.
I tell you, Fred was on with us earlier this week, and he was also on Talkline today talking about the 25th anniversary of game night. And you got to understand, and I know old guy moment here, just give me a moment here, but he's absolutely right, because if you think about the changes that have happened in the last 25 years. I mean, cell phones were around then, but not like what we have now. And Fred is absolutely right. If you wanted to if you're on the network and you're trying to get a score from somewhere, you can't always call the school, obviously, or call the press box or whatever you're trying to get, from somewhere in some single A school or whatever. I mean, you knew who to call. And we call Fred at the Speedway there because, Fred's not a good example. I just made up a name. You call Steve at the Speedway because he's listening to the local coverage and he can tell you, and Fred and those guys, they had a list of all the town. Okay, now, you want this score, you call this guy. You want this score, you call this guy. Stringers in every town, that's the way it was done.
Funny you should say that, because Daniel Woods was talking about a story when he was back in Morgantown collecting scores for game night. He had to call some gas stations to get the scores from that, and that's kind of consistent across the board. Got to do whatever you got to do to put it together. But, man, yeah, we've really got it good here, and it's just amazing to have football back. I'm pinching myself. I've been pinching myself this entire week, trying to tell myself, yeah, football season is here, and before we know it, the Mountaineers and Herd will get their season started. Just a fantastic time.
What are some of the other games tonight that we're taking a look at?
So the featured game here on WCHS is George Washington against Spring Valley. Chris Lawrence, Tom Hunter, and Matt Murphy will have the call of that. That's an interesting one. The best game in AAA is the game, at least from my view, is Herbert Hoover against Fairmont Senior. We also have a couple of games, a battle in Philip Barber against Grafton. That's our featured game on Metro News Television, so you can watch that for free. Free sign up on that. That's also a game to monitor. Philip Barber has dominated that series of late, but Grafton looking to make a comeback this year.
Yeah, it is an exciting time. And as you said, there are games on the schedule for tomorrow as well.
Absolutely, some games, and we have coverage on Metro News Television all weekend long. And of course, Joe Mercado has all the highlights that you could ever want at the website. So yeah, we got it all going on.
And of course, the MEC I think got underway last night. And there were some games in West Virginia State will be playing on Saturday afternoon, and we carry those here in Charleston on 107.3 The Beat. And so we'll have that game. It's Charleston. Is that what I think it's called? Charleston?
Yeah, it's Shawan against West Virginia State.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, and I was talking with Daniel before he took off today. Interesting on both sides with Shawan and with West Virginia State. Some questions on both sides about offense and see whether those teams perform as the coaches hope. A lot of questions this time of year, but it's an interesting matchup, so we'll be tuned in tomorrow.
I did do my homework on that. I just totally butchered the pronunciation. It's a school out of Murfreesboro, North Carolina, not Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I did do that much. I just totally butchered the pronunciation of the school.
All good, all good. Yeah, it just fantastic. And we get some week 0 games, college football as well. North Carolina takes on TCU tomorrow, and so that's an interesting one with North Carolina having all of the questions around their program that they have going on. And then, of course, next weekend, West Virginia gets it started up against Coastal Carolina. It's a great time of year.
Well, and Marshall will be traveling to Happy Valley to take on the Nittany Lions of Penn State next week. A game that, by the way, Northern Dave Wilson guaranteed a win for Marshall.
Guaranteed a win over
Penn
Rocco
State.
Becht.
That's what he said.
And Matt Campbell.
That's what he said.
Yeah, there's so many changes, even within high school, looking around at some of these rosters, a lot of player movement. But in this current era of college athletics, Dave, you just have no idea who the quarterback is, who the head coach is of some of these programs. When I'm turning on games this fall, there's going to be moments where I'm thinking, wait, wasn't that guy here last year? Wasn't that coach here? It's just, it's a tough time to kind of stick with a program for 4 years because you have no idea where these guys go.
I mentioned the Marshall event in Charleston last night. I had a chance to interview Coach Gibson for the sports department here, and I approached him by saying, look, Coach, it's year 2. You got a lot of questions, but not as many as you had last year going in. And he said, and the quote to me was something to the effect of, look, I got guys here that actually want to be at Marshall. And they chose to be here. And that's a big difference when you're a coach in the current landscape of college football.
I agree with you 100%. More so than ever, with this era of player movement and coach movement all over the place, the year 1 is especially difficult because you have some guys, and sometimes you have to take some flyers on guys that don't end up panning out the way that you'd like them to. I feel like it's a very similar script between Marshall and West Virginia this fall. You got year 2. Both coaches seem, at least from what we're hearing, much more confident and much more happy with the guys they have on the roster, and we'll see how it comes to bear.
All the talk in the world of college football in what I have been seeing has been on Ohio State. That seems to be everybody's. I mean, you turn on ESPN or you turn on sports radio, whatever, on the national level, everybody's talking about Ohio State. Is this the team to beat, in your opinion?
Well, they spent a lot of money on the roster, but as with anything, Dave, the preseason top 25 rankings, you can put it down in ink every single year. Some of those teams who the national people hold in such high regard, they're not going to have the seasons that you think they will. There's going to be some teams that you aren't going to expect to come out of the scene, like last year, Indiana. Right now, I would say Ohio State would be the team that you have to see them get beat before then. But it is interesting, all the Michigan talk that's gone into their heads. They're doing senior day. Did I see this right? They're doing senior day week 1 this year just to avoid having Michigan on senior day. Because over the past couple of years, Michigan and Ohio State have had this heated rivalry, and Michigan has had Ohio State's number, even with some poor seasons from the Wolverines.
Is that the greatest rivalry in college? I certainly think it's the greatest rivalry in college football. Is it the greatest rivalry in sports?
I'm partial because I'm a Mountaineer fan, so I have contractually I have to say West Virginia against Pitt is the best rivalry. But man, you'd be really hard pressed to find a more heated rivalry than Ohio State, Michigan. Of course, Boston, New York Yankees.
Oh, yeah.
In professional ranks, that's a very heated rivalry as well. But yeah, it's got to be up there. If not number one, it's got to be in the top 5.
All right, so now you've got the call, as you said, on Herbert Hoover and East Fairmont. That's a great way to start off the season for both those. You got number 3 against number 4, and it's at Herbert Hoover, right?
It is,
and that's a great place for a game. I have actually years and years ago, I did a game at the old Herbert Hoover, not the stadium you have now, the old Herbert Hoover, but it's still that same great atmosphere on Elk River.
Yeah,
so.
and both coaches are super excited for the environment. Of course, it's been nearly 300 days since Herbert Hoover played its last game. I think those fans are ready to go. There's going to be a packed crowd on hand tonight, and it's a top 4 matchup. You couldn't really ask for more. Lots of skill on both sides of the ball for both teams. So hoping for a very good game. It's shaping up that way.
All right. Well, Jack, I know that you are preparing for the game tonight, so we will let you go and get ready for Herbert Hoover and Fairmont Senior tonight. In the land of the Huskies, and we do invite you to stick around because after the game, after your local game, for the 25th season, it's game night. Fred Persinger, Dave Jacklin, and the crew. A heck of a lot easier to get the scores now than what it used to be. I heard Fred on Talkline this morning saying, there were times that back in the day they were locking out 11:30 to 12 o'clock. They still didn't have all the scores. He said, we got them all. We got them all but 10:15 at the very latest, if not sooner than that. So,
well, in the age of social media, it's become a lot more easy.
It's also become a lot easier to have mistakes too. So we got to verify. Jack Carlson, Metro News Sports. Have a great broadcast tonight, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
It is 2:20. We will take a break and come back after this. Stay with us.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
This week on the Metro News Television Game of the Week, powered by GoMart. The Grafton Bearcats travel to Philip Barber for the Week 1 matchup. Join us Friday, August 28th at 7 p.m. for complete live coverage from George Breyer Field. Watch live on Metro News Television, YouTube, and Facebook. Bearcats versus Colts. Friday, August 28th at 7 p.m. The Metro News Television Game of the Week, powered by GoMart.
It's our 23rd anniversary, and to celebrate, we're having a huge anniversary sale all month long on all Toyota trucks and pre-owned vehicles. We've discounted over 100 pre-owned vehicles this month, most of which are local one-owner trades. Great deals on all our Toyota trucks, and with over 90 in stock, now is the time to get yours. From our family to yours, we want to thank you for all the support over 23 years. Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century. The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
I think many people have a misconception that all that we do is infertility care, and that's not the case. Reproductive health matters whether or not you're trying to conceive. So we can be dealing with endometriosis, ovulation dysfunction, PCOS. You're getting linked up with all the specialties that you need to optimize your care. And being an advocate for your reproductive health is important. The most rewarding times that I have is when I'm empowering people to take control of their health.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Touchdown! earthjustice.org.
Welcome back to the show, 224. It's Metro News Midday powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Dave Allen in the host chair. Stephanie Pauly, Ryan Nicholson, our producers today. Open line West Virginia coming up at the bottom of the hour, 1-800-765-TALK. That's 1-800-765-8255. Or you can text me, 304-TALK, 304. As always, I have no ground rules, okay, for Open Line West Virginia. The only rule, or the only thing I ask, only request, if you will, what I ask is that it is Friday. Looks like it's going to be a great weather weekend, according to Metro News meteorologist Brian Hughes. Although it is going to be hot, it's going to be a nice weekend. No rain, no storms to talk about or anything. So you do something that's going to put a smile on my face. I mean, we got all of his high school football. Jack and I just talked about that. We got all of his high school football team. Best of luck to your team, whatever that team may be. We got college football back. We'll get WVU and Marshall back next week, but we got some college games, including some MEC matchups. So that makes me happy. But do something. Give me something on the text line or on the phone line today that is going to put a smile on your radio buddy's face. I'm asking, because it's Friday, and I'm excited about it. 1-800-765-TALK, text 304-TALK 304. I am actually going to be doing a little working this weekend because we have an event in Charleston tomorrow. I'll tell you about this real quick just to happen in case you happen to be in the capital city. The Kanawha Charleston Humane Association, of which we have a very, very close association with, it does an event every year at the Red Carpet Lounge, and the iconic Red Carpet Lounge just down from the State Capitol building. It's on Elizabeth Street in Charleston. And we do this event. They do this event. We just kind of crash it with our stations, and it's called Kegs for Canines. And it's exactly what the name implies. It is an adoption event. It is a fundraiser. It's a party to raise money for the Kanawha Charleston Humane Association. And myself and Steve Animal from our sister station, 98.7 The Mountain, Wild and Wonderful Classic Rock. And I think some of the other stations are probably going to be there as well because, you have dogs and you have food and you have beer, and certainly and suddenly radio people appear. So we're going to be out there tomorrow. It starts about 4 o'clock at the Red Carpet Lounge. So if you just happen to be in the area looking for something to do, it's like $50 a ticket, I think. I don't know how many tickets are left. I interviewed one of their spokespeople on the local show in Charleston this morning, and she said they had very limited tickets left. You can just go to their website or their Facebook page, Kanawha Charleston Humane Association, to try to get more information on that. They may have some tickets available at the door. Just letting you know, if you're looking for something to do, that you can join us tomorrow at the Red Carpet Lounge here in Charleston for Kegs for Canines. And there are animals available for adoption there. Matter of fact, they have what they call the Cares Van, and it is a nice air-conditioned trailer. It's got some doggies and some kitties in it. And look, a couple of years ago, I actually knew the guy that showed up, he and some friends, just to kind of hang out, socialize, help raise a little money. And he walked out of there with a dog, or the dog walked him out of there. I'm not sure which one it was, but he adopted a dog that day. And a lot of people do that. And I say that because I know this is in a Charleston event But around the state of West Virginia, we love our pets and we love a good time. So I'm just letting you know that if you are in the Charleston area tomorrow and you're looking for something to do, you may want to check it out. It's Kegs for Canines with the Kanawha Charleston Humane Association, and it starts tomorrow at the Red Carpet Lounge, which is located on Elizabeth Street in the shadow of the West Virginia State Capitol in downtown Charleston. 4 to 7 is the event tomorrow. Come out and hang out with me and Steve Animal and several other of us from our stations here in Charleston, and maybe get yourself a doggy or a kitty. Definitely you can party a little bit, and they will also accept donations. And the shelters, and you know this from your towns as well, they always need things like blankets and pet foods and cat litter and, you know, all the things, plus they accept cash as well. So come by and join us tomorrow. Just throwing that out there. That's just one of the many events going on. And I'll just say this, too, since I asked you to put something, a smile on my face about something. If you've got something going on in your community this weekend, let me know about it. Send me a text, 304-TALK-304, or call, and you can talk about it on the air, 1-800-765-TALK. We'll get to that when we get to Open Line West Virginia. Metro News Midday heard all over the great state of West Virginia on great radio stations like WJLS in Beckley, a flagship here in Charleston, WCHS, WKMZ Clarksburg, WD&E in Elkins, WKLP Kaiser, WVW Logan, WEPM Martinsburg, WAJR in Morgantown, WSLW White Sulphur Springs, and WKKX and WVLY in Wheeling. We'll take a break. It is Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Stephanie Pauly, Ryan Nicholson, our producer today. I'm Dave, and I'll stick around. Stay with us. And now we'll go to the
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Greer Industries, improving people's lives for more than a century.
Hey, welcome in. Got you a forecast here. Areas of southeastern areas of the state. Still about a 30% chance of a general thunderstorm today. We did have some areas, some reports of severe level wind gusts or damaging winds. Far southern and eastern areas of West Virginia, expecting general storms today. Where the cold fronts near stationary, setting up shop just southeast of us, areas of Virginia included there, and a marginal risk of some isolated severe weather, mainly for damaging winds there. Areas near and east of the mountains, a 30% chance of a shower and storm, generally little to no rain elsewhere. There is a slight 20% chance of an afternoon general storm in Charleston. Again, it's a 20% chance for us today. Fly severe forecast, it starts at home. Highs in the 80s and 90s here. Atlanta 91, 94 Myrtle Beach, Orlando 94, Charlotte, a risk of some scattered flash flooding with thunderstorms in areas of North Carolina today. We'll keep eyes on that for our friends to the south, to the north, from Panhandle to Panhandle. Likely dry today. Mix of sun and clouds, highs upper 70s to low 80s. Relatively quiet here Friday for you. Eastern Panhandle warming up low to mid 80s. Some 70s in here in some of the higher elevation spots. A chance of a hit or miss thunderstorm for today, so keep your eyes on a radar if you're out and about for that hit or miss potential today. Highs in the 70s across our northern areas, slight chance to a chance of a shower and thunderstorm. To the south, chance showers and storms in some of our eastern areas. Charleston, likely dry. It's a slight 20% chance of a shower and storm. So dry for the weekend, last days of August. So if that stands, this will be our second wettest August on record. We do warm and heat up, 94 on Tuesday. Next chance of rain, middle of next week, Tuesday night into Wednesday, with some warmer lows and higher highs in here. 94 Tuesday, low near 73. Chance of showers and storms. Timing Tuesday night and Wednesday.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
When you hired me, you were 29. You seemed like you were 50 when you were 29. You were running that thing like a 50-year-old man. All right, we got to go get some tape. Come on, get out of there.
I think I've sort of always been 50, and I think I'm 50 now.
Yeah, me too.
That's a great point. Join Tony Carini, Brad Howe, and Hoppy Kercheval for Three Guys Before the Game. Metro News Television. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at WVMetroNewsTV.com. You want to know what West Virginia is talking about?
It's good to be back in Morgantown today.
Now it's different.
I think it's mostly just business.
What I voted for and what I think makes the most sense.
Well, Dave, this has been a bit of a controversy.
I want to thank the caller last week that said I sounded like Hoppy Kercheval. That was flattering.
Join Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows Monday through Friday for Talk Line on Metro News Television.
Submit your stories, photographs, and documents today.
This is Metro News Midday, presented by Salango Law. SalangoLaw.com.
Promotional consideration paid for by West Virginia's finest men's store, Tony the Tailor, Virginia Street in Charleston. Come check out Tony's new looks for fall, including an extensive line of WVU and Marshall gear as well. Get ready for the upcoming season. Check out bestmastertailor.com or Tony the Tailor on Facebook page. I want to update you on a story. We've got information on the website. We've been talking about it throughout the day. It has to do with here in Kanawha County and the Kanawha County Commission. And again, just to kind of catch everybody up, I won't spend too much time on this, but there was a resignation on the Kanawha County Commission when Lance Wheeler resigned to take over the directorship of the Kanawha Ambulance Service Authority. So the remaining commissioners, Commissioner Natalie Tennant and Commission President Ben Salango, were then asked to name a replacement. They could not agree. The executive committee of the Republican Party in Kanawha County then submitted 3 names to Commissioners Salango and Tennant. And so those names were Edward Burgess and Austin Gessel and Jared Page. And the person that was chosen had to be a Republican and had to live in the same magisterial district as then Commissioner Wheeler did. They used the strike system, which is basically they put the 3 names up on the board, and Commissioners Tennant and Salango then strike by marking out one of the names. And Mr. Salango got to go first because he was the commissioner with seniority. And but just prior to the meeting, it was announced that that 2 of the candidates that had submitted their names and then were sent from the executive committee to Commissioners Tennant and Salango, 2 of those had opted, Mr. Burgess and Mr. Gessel had opted out and said that they didn't want to run. So we had a bit of a quandary. But upon further review, as they say in the NFL, Mr. Gessel, who was the one that was chosen, has changed his mind. And we talked about it a little bit earlier. I know Commissioner Salango was on Talkline earlier. So let me give you the statement. This is released within the hour. This is what we already knew, but this is the official statement that came out of the Kanawha County Commission offices. The headline is, Austin Gessel accepts role to fill a vacancy with the Kanawha County Commission. Vacancy on the commission has now been filled as the Republican nominee, Austin Gessel, accepts the position. He's expected to officially be sworn in the coming days. Commission President Salango said, quote, "I'm excited to welcome Austin Gessel as the newest member of the Kanawha County Commission. I truly appreciate his willingness to serve the public, and I look forward to serving with him over the next few months." Commissioner Natalie Tennant added, "I personally reached out to Mr. Gessel and talked about the expectations of his office and conveyed to him that I look forward to working with him to uphold the standards of the Kanawha County Commission in serving the public." So Austin Gessel, again, will be the new county commissioner. He's agreed to do it after initially saying that he didn't want it. He says now he does, and over the next couple of days he will be sworn in. He will complete the term of Lance Wheeler, and so he can't be on the ballot, for next time, but he's just going to basically finish out the term. Now, Jared Page, which was one of the other people, does have opposition in the general election. Jared Page won the Republican primary, and so now he will have opposition in the fall. So that has been settled. 1-800-765-TALK, text 304-TALK 304. I did ask that you give me something to make me smile on a Friday. I haven't seen it yet, but okay. Maybe it'll come. Text says about data centers. Data centers are coming somewhere. We may as well capitalize on them. Stopping them in West Virginia won't stop them altogether. I agree with that. I mean, everybody wants them to be done in a responsible way. And I'll just say this, a little bit of an editorial comment here. I was, I saw, and I don't know whether you did or not, the editorial that TJ Meadows did. And it dropped. It's on the website if you want to read it. And basically what TJ Meadows came out and said, Talkline co-host, was that anything that you have heard or read about data centers, overall, there are some exceptions, raising power rates. It's not true. And I went through the comments when that editorial was posted last night because I had just got in from an event and TJ texted me, and I was like, my gosh. Some of the comments were just vile, by the way. I'll just put it out there. I mean, if you can agree or disagree, but your mama should have taught you better when it comes to using language like that. But regardless, and I said this earlier, and again, just my opinion. If I want to know something about aviation, I talk to people in the aviation business. If I want to know something about fast food, I talk to somebody who owns or works in a fast food restaurant. Okay. TJ, no, he didn't need me to defend him. He spent the bulk of his career in the energy industry. So when TJ Meadows says something about the energy industry, I'm probably going to listen to it because that's what he did for a living for a number of years. And so I'm going to kind of go with that guy. I'm just saying, could agree or disagree with me, but I'm just saying it's kind of like, when I was living in southern West Virginia and we had people from outside that would come in and tell us about coal. And I'm like, okay, all right. So you are from what state and you're going to come to West Virginia and talk to us about coal? Okay. All right. You do you. But there was a post on social media that kind of caught my attention during the break. And I know the guy, I'm friends with him in real life and on Facebook, but because I don't have his permission, I won't give his name. But he says he reposted TJ's commentary and said, as someone who has worked as a power engineer for 20 years, I can confirm what TJ says is true. The system cost is the system cost. The more entities paying in, the more the cost to maintain the system is spread. The analogy I use is this. If we're all pulling on a rope and a really strong person is walking by, wouldn't we want him to grab the rope and start pulling with us? Again, I won't mention the person's name, although I know them personally that posted that because I don't have their permission to do so. But I could not have said it better myself. 20 minutes away from 3 on a Friday afternoon. Texas, the storm in Martinsburg yesterday was crazy. I've lived here my whole life, and I've never seen anything like it. Yeah, we talked to the city manager of Martinsburg earlier today, and, I mean, that was just an epic rain that hit a very small area of downtown Martinsburg, about 3:30 or so, I think they said yesterday afternoon. 10 miles down the road didn't rain a drop, but they got historic rain over one location. They're still cleaning up in Martinsburg. So our thoughts and prayers are with those folks. Text says, on the earlier show, some idiot called just before my text stating socialists, etc., morons are destroying the country. He's a critical thinker, I believe, says the texter. Text, I have relatives along Lake Ontario, and if you think I'm calling it Lake America, you have another thing coming, says the texter. President has renamed it Lake America. Text, Dave, this whole thing with Justice versus Morrissey is stupid and embarrassing. Let me ask you a question, though, and I'm going to point my finger right back at myself and others. And do you think we're making too big a deal out of this? Because someone pointed out, sometimes you got to have somebody that's away from the fray to make you think about things. And somebody who I am friends with that's not what I'd say necessarily the most political person said to me last night, it was only a couple of, there's been little barbs here and there, but it was really only a couple of back and forths. I mean, it's not like this is an ongoing 6-month, 8-month feud. Old school wrestling fans would say, this is not Tommy Rich versus Buzz Sawyer. And if you know, you know. All right. So maybe we make too much of it. Text, how about those Logan Wildcats last night? Yeah, my alma mater won the Lions Club Bowl in Logan County, defeating the Man Hillbillies last night. Congratulations to Coach Nick Booth and the Logan Wildcats. Well, a lot of affinity for Man, though, too, because I actually did grow up in the Man area. Lived there till I was in 6th grade. So let me see here. Text, okay, we took care of that. Was actually a question. Amanda took care of that earlier. Text, people better open their eyes. Venezuela used to be a prosperous country. Then they turned to socialism, and the people don't open up their eyes and see what the Democrat Party is doing. They deserve, but we don't deserve what our country will become, says the texter. I'm trying to get to as many as I can, folks. Just be patient. Text says, ever since the Republicans have taken control in West Virginia, they've made our judicial system a joke. They sue for anything and everything, but they dare the public to sue for anything. And if they do, they want to put caps on the amounts. They're all hypocrites. Text said, so glad high school football is back. Nothing like listening to Fred Persinger after the games on game night. Happy football. Yeah, 25 years. 25 years of it. Text, Dave, what churches are these Republicans going to that allows all these sinful behaviors? You need to start naming the churches and pastors when these people claim to be Christians. Text, thank goodness for TJ Meadows. Finally, someone talking common sense on data centers and not believing everything they read on Facebook. 2:44, and it's open line West Virginia. Still time, hopefully, to get your calls and text in. 1-800-765-TALK. Text 304-TALK-304. We're back after this.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
On the next State of Minds.
I was in liver failure, and I was told I needed to quit drinking or I was going to die, and that was at 36. When he invited me to church, all the hair on my arms, my chest, my back, it all stood up. You're taught to love, you're taught to forgive, and there's a reason for that. It lets you be healthy and lets you move forward with a vision for your life that's not defined by what happened to you.
A lot of patients come here without much hope, and I think we can give them hope.
We offer a full spectrum of interventions suitable for every kind of person that walks through our door. We do absolutely everything we can to help you achieve your family building goals.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
At Daniel's Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniel's is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discover tailored suits you'll only find in-store at Daniel's.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
It's our 23rd anniversary, and to celebrate, we're having a huge anniversary sale all month long on all Toyota trucks and pre-owned vehicles. Thank you for 23 years, Dan Caba, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Hey, I take offense of that.
Why would you do that?
Because on midday, the last segment, the first thing I hear when those mics go on is you just coughing, and I'm just like, this guy.
You don't appreciate me giving that show a little ratings boost at the end, a little boom boom?
You coughing directly onto these microphones? No, I don't want it.
I don't know where this came from.
everybody.
I'm in another room, guys. I don't know.
everybody.
Hey, Coop,
I'm just
what's up?
watching this.
Hotline on Metro News Television.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Welcome back to the show. 12 away from 3 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. It's Open Line, West Virginia, 1-800-765-TALK. Text 304, Talk 304. Jack says, Dave, Republicans need to check the definition of autocrat. It fits Trump to a T. Text, can someone please tell me who in the world back in the day thought it was a good idea to name the Parkersburg football stadium Stadium Field? I don't know. Text Dave, when is the Coal Association going to call out Trump and the Republicans and all these mines closing down and job losses? I'll answer that quickly. They're not. Text Dave, I remember the first music video I ever saw. It was a theater before MTV. Tim Curry, 32 or 33 years old, singing Paradise Garage with his band. It was a preview to the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and so much more to come. Truly sorry that he is DED dead, says the texter. Okay, so is it bad that I admit that I have never seen the Rocky Horror Picture Show? I've never seen the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Sorry, it never interested me. Didn't seem like something I would enjoy. Text, why should that texter be surprised that Justice and Morris are acting childish? Look who their hero is. Dave, you wonder why West Virginia is the laughingstock of the nation. The Kanawha County Commission feuding, the Mon County Commission feuding, and the governor and Jim Justice are feuding. All in public. God help us, says the texter. I don't know if we want to go that bad, all right? Text, when it comes to TJ, you can take the boy out of the electric company, but you can't take the electric company out of the boy. Rates may go down for a couple of years, but as soon as data centers are established, rates will go up due to necessary upgrades, increased generation costs, and whatever other reasons the creative department comes up with to raise rates. Text going to be a great couple of days of weather, as you said, Dave. It'll be a great time to fix some potholes. Sounds like somebody's been challenged. 250, text says, hearing West Virginians cry about socialism is hilarious. You all know how the state stays solvent, right? That's why I give thanks to California and New York every day, says a texter. Regarding how fast time goes, it's astounding that the fact that this September 11th will be 25 years since the terrorist attacks that killed 2,977 innocent souls, and the fact that the Canadian Broadcasting says they don't want to call them terror attacks. I guess they need reminded that they lost 24 Canadians that day. Another attempt to change history makes me not have a problem now with renaming their lake, says the texter. Shots fired, no pun intended, or, not seriously, I should say, against Canada. Text, okay. I'll read some of this. I find it absolutely fascinating that people constantly want to criticize and mock and demonize Christians and the church and say there is no God. Okay, I see where you're going with this. This is okay. Notice that they don't ever say that about Allah or the Prophet Muhammad. Oh, that's right. They'd be killed if they did. Yeah, okay. At first glance, I looked at that and was kind of weird, but I understand where you're going with it. Text, does TJ live next to a data center? I trust he wouldn't want one built next to his golf course because of the noise and competing water use, let alone live next to one. TJ's been on record as saying he would live next to a data center. And I've been on record as saying build one in my backyard. I'll move. Text, virgin. In the world of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, a virgin is any person who has never attended a live screening or shadowcast performance of the movie. Well, I guess that is me because, I'm not against it. It just never seemed to be something I would be interested in. Text, Hey, Dave, I'll join your club. I've never seen Rocky Horror either. Well, there you go. I'm not the only one. Text says, I am what I consider to be a moderate Democrat, maybe a West Virginia Democrat. Yes, we still exist, and I think it's terrible that you guys in the media constantly talk down to Democrats. Love the station, but that just gets old. I don't know that okay. It's all in the ears of the beholder, I guess. Text, the rest of the country, even Republicans, are off the Trump train, but not here in good old West Virginia. Our ignorance keeps on shining. Text, after almost 10 years of calling everyone who does not agree with them on every single issue a Nazi or fascist, does the fact that these people constantly refer to you as a Nazi and really surprise you at this point? That label, just like racist, homophobe, etc., now truly have no meaning anymore, and they are actually being spewed by the very people that use Nazi, fascist, racist, Marxist tactics to silence and to go after the people that refuse to goose step and follow them. Text, a great event for Marshall last night, Dave. Had a great time. I'm glad you came out. Paint the Capital City green. Sold out last night at the Bill No Flight School. Final text of the weekend, or of the week, getting us into the weekend. Couldn't think of a better way to leave it. Football is back, Dave, and the Cowboys still suck. All right. Undefeated in preseason, man. Just saying. 2:53. We'll wrap it up after this.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
It's our 23rd anniversary, and to celebrate, we're having a huge anniversary sale all month long on all Toyota trucks and pre-owned vehicles. We've discounted over 100 pre-owned vehicles this month, most of which are local one-owner trades. Great deals on all our Toyota trucks, and with over 90 in stock, now is the time to get yours. From our family to yours, we want to thank you for all the support over 23 years. Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
I think many people have a misconception that all that we do is infertility care, and that's not the case. Reproductive health matters whether or not you're trying to conceive. So we can be dealing with endometriosis, ovulation dysfunction, PCOS. You're getting linked up with all the specialties that you need to optimize your care. And being an advocate for your reproductive health is important. The most rewarding times that I have is when I'm empowering people to take control of their health.
Morning, TJ Meadows.
Good morning, sir. It's yet another beautiful day to be in pursuit of happiness, is it not?
I like the optimism. Let's see if we can take care of that by the end of the show today, shall we? Any thoughts, Mr. Meadows?
Talkline, available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at WVMetroNewsTV.com. This week on the Metro News Television Game of the Week, powered by GoMart. The Grafton Bearcats travel to Philip Barber for the Week 1 matchup. Join us Friday, August 28th at 7 p.m. for complete live coverage from George.
Welcome back to the show. 3 away from 3 on a Friday afternoon. It's Metro News Midday powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Dave Allen hanging out with you. Stephanie Pauly, Ryan Nicholson, our producer. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, a man who is, as we speak, currently petitioning the President of the United States to rename Lake Ontario Lake Bridgeport. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Dave Weekley.
We own all those lakes.
Yeah.
We don't. What are names?
Yeah.
Just check the details. We own all those lakes.
You ever, in your neck of the woods, you ever have like an argument over like what an area is called, whether somebody calls it, I mean, the official name. Now, that's not what we call it. See, in Logan County, we had that with Kelly Mountain / Lowe's Mountain. Depending on, it was all settled by the Kelly and Lowe families, and all the descendants still live there. And certain people, it's Lowe's Mountain. Certain people, it's Kelly Mountain. And so,
I get that.
Have that in your area?
You know, here's my old man thing.
Yeah.
I have a tendency with my friends to kind of go down the rabbit hole of we'll drive through an area and we'll try to identify something that used to be there. They're like, there used to be a gas station there. I knew that before it was a gas station. You know, it's like,
didn't you run a piece of comedy on that this week?
Yeah,
I
did.
actually heard that. That was actually really funny. Yeah,
Like,
I heard that when I was driving home the other day.
that used to be a KFC. No, now it's a liquor store. You know,
Yeah.
that kind
See,
of
now,
thing.
and the whole Lowe's Kelly Mountain thing, people would call the radio station when I worked in Logan, and they would say, "Why did you say that there was an accident on Kelly? That's Lowe's Mountain." And I'm like, okay. It's kind of like when I worked in Ohio in Gallipolis, and it's Gallipolis or Gallipolis? And
it's Gallipolis, isn't it?
It should be because it's French, and French is
right.
Gallipolis, City of Gauls.
Oh, nice.
City of Gauls.
Yeah, I'll be going out to St. Albans in a little bit.
I am a man of culture. All right.
Could have fooled me.
Yeah, well, okay. I also did a Tommy Rich Buzz Sawyer reference 30 minutes ago, too, so there's my culture, Hoss. All right, we got Hotline coming up on the same Metro News stations. Enjoy all the high school football, everybody. Be back to do this here thing again on Monday. Have a great weekend. Till then, have fun and love somebody.